What up? What up? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start by being transparent. And yesterday, I split up my bets between Celtics, first half and full game. Those both lost, and I had another best bet on Thunder -7.5. So lost a little bit of juice yesterday, but nothing too crazy. The best bet for the show won for anybody who told that. Mr. Veno, nice to have you back. How did NBA treat you yesterday, and how are you feeling today?
NBA was okay because the bigger play had a 1-1 split, but the bigger play won, and that was the play we used here on the show, Skee, the Oklahoma City, New Orleans first half over. A lot of points in the first half, definite turnaround from game one. And, I think that the theory that I applied to that play, which we went over yesterday, was simply a lot like the Indiana theory that paid me the day before, that Oklahoma City just suffered a little bit from jitters. They were certainly out of the way last night, and they were back to playing Oklahoma City basketball. And to the point that you mentioned yesterday about New Orleans fatigue, fourth in 8 days, certainly that showed up. New Orleans didn't look like the same team. And I think we had a 19-2 trend, Skee, right, that split up. It was active on both of the favorites yesterday. OKC gets there, Boston doesn't. The game I lost, I'm I'm angry about. I really am. I had the Boston team total over 109, which I discussed here on the show, and they have 61 at halftime, and then go straight in the tank offensively in the second half and put up, I think, 40 total points in the second half, un-Boston-like. But you know what? We credit Eric Spoelstra a lot over the years, and we need to credit him again because that's a shorthanded skeleton crew that he won with last night. 23 threes by the Heat.
Yeah, I was watching the games, and then I saw the Heat game, Celtics game. I mean, they were scoring like crazy. I was like, is this the first half over Rob had? I was like, no. Then I thought about it. I was like, it's a late one, but the late one came through too. So, good work there. Maybe, maybe time to start looking at some overs after that game one heavy under round. The play-in was pretty under as well too. So we'll see. Maybe these totals have come to a point where we can go the other way. Rob, that is navy blue, correct?
That is navy blue. Yep.
All right, so Hank is the winner. Let's Hank, just hit me up on DM or Discord or comment after the show, and let me know what your Cash App or Venmo or whatever way you got like that. So appreciate you guys all taking the time to guess. Hank, you are the winner for today. And there he goes. He says, "Let's go."
Congratulations, Hank.
Uh-oh. Well, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
We should expect that.
Yeah. Your boys did their thing yesterday. Coach Bo had a good game plan. Hero stepped up. Bam stepped up. Everybody stepped up. So
Yeah.
nice job for your Miami Heat there, S. Mario reminding everybody to hit the like button. Aldo, appreciate you, says good show. And Wayne also says, what's up to both of us? And smash the like button. Definitely helps out the show if you guys could hit the like button for us. So on that note, we'll move it over to some actionable info, Vino, and we got 3 games to talk about today. 3 teams in similar situations. First up, we have 525, 526, Cleveland and Orlando. Cleveland open as a 1-point favorite. We've seen a flip of favorites with Orlando now -2.5. The total open around 200, 200.5, and it went up this time, 201.5. They're saying 200. That's where we draw the line. We can't go any lower than that. Bettors are taking it the other way. So Cavaliers have seemed like a group that is, pretty focused, pretty determined to be better than they were last year. And Orlando has looked like, they weren't ready for the playoffs just yet. The coach, after game one, pretty much said he was going to go out there with the same game plan and expect different results. Didn't really pan out that way. But with Orlando returning home in a desperation spot, Ravino, I think you have to get max effort from them. If I was taking Orlando, it would be first quarter. but I don't know if I even trust him to do that. Do you?
Well, I can't even say that Cleveland's been good in this series, Ski, because the numbers tell me they haven't been any good. But they've been better than Orlando, who's been atrocious. So, lesser of two evils there. And maybe the switch to home floor, I think back to about a month and a half, probably a month ago, right as the season was in its final 6 or 8 game stretch, and Orlando was battling for a potential number 2 seed. And Wendell Carter Jr. saying home floor is going to mean everything to us. We need to be one of those top 4 teams. Well, they didn't get there, but they are there tonight. Just give you a couple, you know, I know all season long I've done enough work with you to know that you're opposed to Orlando's perimeter shooting as well as you should,
Mhm.
because in this series, Ski, from 3, this team is 17 of 72. I mean, those kind of numbers don't even win the Wagertalk 3-point shootout, 17. Merrill Speed would beat these guys. I'm telling you, 23.6% from the floor. But Cleveland's only 29. They've been just as bad, 20 of 69 from 3. There's nothing here statistically that will tell you that Cleveland's been a decisively better team, a dominant team. They just rode their home court and the poor play of Orlando, why ever it was, whether it's first time playoff inexperience, whether or not some of it is attributed to what I feel is when their front line can be matched, they don't do as well. Cleveland actually out rebounded them by 14 in game 1, 7 in game 2, so they did cut that in half. I think all of this can turn around, Ski. I really do. I think Orlando at home can win the same way Cleveland won their 2 games at home, just by being halfway better. I think their shooting numbers can come up. I think their rebounding numbers can come up. Their energy is good. They've had 20 steals in 2 games, as had Cleveland. And there's some circumstances where they played this team, even, but just not good enough to get wins in Cleveland. So I would probably look Orlando's way here tonight. And to the folks who have played the total up, I'll just say this. Combined, these 2 teams from beyond the arc in game 1, 23.9%, in game 2, 28.4%. There have been plenty of points available to get over a number like 200, but these 2 teams aren't scoring the points that are available. 39.8% of the points that could have been scored in game 1, 40.4 in game 2. Those are really, really low numbers. I mentioned yesterday that the NBA average is about 45.2. They're way under that. So maybe a good shooting night. Heck, over 200 doesn't even have to be a great shooting night. I don't like Cleveland here simply because they didn't show me enough at home. So I would probably stand with Orlando.
Well, we do know, like I said, it's a desperation spot for Orlando, home court advantage. And those teams that lost games 1 and 2 and return home win, or the home favorites at least, win 69.4% of the time. They cover 61.4% of the time. So that does favor the Orlando Magic. Would you prefer them early or full game?
I think you could trust them full game, but I would trust them more early. Yeah, because you have to figure that the energy level in that building. I think we talked about Minnesota, Ski, as being kind of a college type atmosphere, right? The way that crowd is with that team. And I'd imagine this crowd will be the same way, a little bit frenzied college atmosphere because the team doesn't get there that often. So early could be there. I do trust them late. Looks like the money trusts them late too, because like you say, there's been a switch in favorites here in this game.
I'm looking at some comments here. You capper. Boofer says Magic don't get swept, but they do go down 0-3. A lot of people in the chat are looking at the Magic, and I can understand why. You like the Magic, lit picks like Franz Wagner over 19 and a half points. Definitely will need some of him. We're going to get there with the Magic. So we'll keep moving down the list here, Rob. Next up, we have Knicks and Sixers. This game opened Sixers minus 3.5. Continues to move in their direction, 5.5 point favorites. And just to compare, the Knicks in that first game were what? I mean, they got up to, I think, -5, maybe even 5.5. And in the second game, I believe they were around that same number. So about a 10-point swing home court, and Philly being down 0-2. Total came down point and a half to 204. Um, all the usual people look like they're going to be available in this game. I mean, it makes sense, Rob. We understand why we get, the big line move or line switch for this game. I'll be honest. I have New York on the series. New York has had the much better bench, but whenever the starting lineup has been out there, it's looked like Philly has been the better team. So, my eyes, in a desperation spot with all that said about Philadelphia, I would prefer, if I like their side, to take them first quarter as well. They Brunson has been struggling. I just I would like Philly early. Doesn't mean they can't win. Doesn't mean they can't cover. But I just think that first quarter where Joel Embiid is going to be out there for majority of the time before he goes on his 6 minute break or however many minutes he gets in that second quarter is where I prefer to put my money. How do you feel about that, Vino?
Yeah, I couldn't argue it. I couldn't argue. I mean, I just talked about a frenzied atmosphere in Orlando. This isn't going to be frenzied. I mean, the Philadelphia atmosphere is going to be like, I don't know, bring bottles, bring lead pipes. It is a frustrated fan base off of what happened in game two. Where, it does good, Skee, after the fact, but the NBA comes out and says, yeah, Maxey got fouled once. Yeah, Maxey got fouled twice, no whistle. Yeah, Nick Nurse was calling a timeout, but they didn't give it to him. And to have all of that relayed to you after that's what costs you a game in the end, it's frustrating. Certainly, Philadelphia looked like they were the better team in that game. Well, it was an even game. I shouldn't say the better team. Down the stretch, they did some things. They certainly looked like they could hold their own on the road. As for the line difference, which is, as you mentioned, maybe 10 and a half points, I think the Knicks were that high in game one and game two as far as being a favorite is concerned because I'm going to get in trouble now for saying the Knicks were that high. um, um, because the Embiid injury, I think, was seen by everybody. And there was no way anybody wanted any part of Philadelphia with Joel looking the way he did. However, 63 points and 18 rebounds and extra rest here for him as well. So every time there's a day off for Joel, I think it helps him. He's been to the free throw line 24 times in 2 games. I mean, he's not the MVP force that he could be, but he's maybe on a 1A or B level right now against the Knicks. The Philly defensive game plan against Jalen Brunson has been great. Jalen Brunson, the first game you say, okay, that was a mirage. Brunson's coming back in game 2. He didn't come back in game 2. He was just as bad. Got one to bounce off the front rim and go through at the end. So I think Philly's doing the right thing defensively. If you just go pure stats through 2 games, the Knicks have made one more field goal than Philly. Knicks have made 73 shots. Philly's made 72. The Knicks have made 27 threes. Philadelphia's made 25. Knicks have made 42 free throws. Philly's made 36. They're darn near mirror images of each other at this point in time. And now you're going to give Philly the home court with the motivational edge, with the sense of urgency edge. I have to admit, I bet it early at 4.5. It's now 5.5. But I think that a 7-point win isn't out of the question here for Philadelphia. And I will say this, I don't know, the mindset of the particular refereeing crew here tonight. But I have to feel like at home, Philadelphia's owed one by the refs. And I could see some whistles going Philly's way after what the NBA decided in game 2. Maybe there's a few makeups where sorry calls here. So I think Philadelphia is the right side. As far as total is concerned, I have no real opinion. But I do think all the situational factors go Philly's way. I think that some of the fundamentals, as I just described, where the numbers are concerned, go Philly's way. One last thing here. Second chance points were problematic for Philly in game 1. Remember, they got out-rebounded like 55-33, but they corrected that in game 2. So I think Nick Nurse has done the right things. I like Philly in this game.
All right, now I get it. A lot of people are liking Philly out there. Couple things I want to couple comments that caught my attention that we should get to first. The real sharp, our good friend Joshua Alexander, he says, Vino, how do you feel about the first half money line being higher than the full game money line? I mean, same can be said, the spread difference. I'll start off and just say he's asking you, but we see this every year, right, Ravino? It's no secret the situation that these teams are in.
No, and I think in your analysis off the first two, Skee, you talked about preferring first half, and I think that's the way a lot of people think when the home team in Game 3 is down 0-2. Got to come right out of the tunnel ready, and we're going to play first half. And we don't know if they can last for 48, but we'll certainly trust them for 24. So I think the odds makers know that, Joshua, and that's the way they shade it. So that's the way that's going to be done in the playoffs is when you get this type of situation, right? 0-2 back home, desperate sense of urgency, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you'll probably even see the point spread being tilted toward the favorite in the first half, a little heavier than full game. So that's what they do. They know the way guys are coming with their money, and that's been the way for quite a while.
Well said, Rob. Next he says Knicks 3 starters all played in Philly for college
Yeah.
at Villanova, won championship. Says they won't be uncomfortable in this environment. You agree with that?
Yeah, it's been a big thing on the local news here, Skee, local radio, local TV. These guys were heroes, right? Josh Hart, Brunson, DiVincenzo, and somebody, I forget what publication it was or social media outlet, posted a photo of all three of those guys in their Villanova uniforms together, standing side by side after a championship season. And in true Philadelphia fan base form, they shredded that photo. They could care less that Villanova is a Philadelphia school and they won them a title. They hate those guys right now. So I totally agree. They'll be made uncomfortable, even though they were once heroes here. They're the villains now. And we'll see if they can live up to it. It's kind of crazy, but that's the way this fan base is.
Yeah, Philly fans different than the rest of the world fans. And that's all right. That's all right. Prolific says, Ski, do you ever live bet? I haven't been as much lately, but I do. And I have some things in the near future that, I want to start doing some live betting shows like I used to. But I just need to wait a little minute. I think I got some things I have to take care of, and then you'll see some big changes coming soon. But yes, the first show I ever did was a show where we broke down the games at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as in order that they're about to come on, and we stayed on and live bet the games. So I'm very familiar with live betting. I do well in it. I'm really good in MLB live betting team totals. So we'll get to that as well. Next game up, Ravino, we will go Nuggets and Lakers. This one opened up Nuggets -1. Another game where flip of favorites, and we know why, right? Lakers are now the 1-point favorite. Total open 215.5, and it looks like 217. Nobody on the injury report for the Nuggets. Same usual suspects on there for the Lakers. They said that Vanderbilt and Christian Wood should be available to play, but now they've been ruled out. LeBron, Anthony Davis, game time decision. Cam Reddish will not be available. So, Rob, man, all I can say is I'll start off like this. If I feel deflated, I know damn well the Lakers feel deflated after losing that game. I mean, both games they led by big margins, but that last game, up by 20, goes down to the wire and they hit a last second shot. They played well for a good portion of the show. A good portion of the game. It's the same thing, Rob. I don't know. Is it just me who sees this? But the Lakers start the game. They're playing, they're playing, they're running sets, etc. They're running stuff. They're playing through D'Angelo Russell. They're playing through Anthony Davis, etc., etc. And then when you build this lead, all of a sudden you want to try to manipulate the game too much and just have LeBron ISO and no organized offense. We talked about organized offense for the Lakers, and that's why their offense looks so good. down the back end of the season. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to understand that. So it's tough for me to try to come put my money on it because I think that they can win if they continue to do what works. But do I trust them to do that? No. I mean, I don't trust that LeBron will defer to Anthony Davis. I don't trust that they'll let D'Angelo run the show when it counts at the end of the game. And I don't trust Darvin Ham. I mean, he benched D'Angelo Russell, or not benched, but he had him on the bench when he should have had Austin Reeves on the bench. I don't trust enough for this Lakers team to put my money on it. Are they capable? Are they talented enough? Yes. I don't know if it translates tonight. If you like the Lakers, I mean, every game so far, first quarter, first half, I wouldn't, talk you off of that again today. Only way I could look at the Lakers. How do you feel about this game?
Well, maybe sitting D'Angelo Russell when it counts and leaving Austin Reeves on the floor was one of those, adjustments that he wasn't trying to give away before the next game. I'm not sure. But when you have a guy who's hit 7 threes, he should never see the bench. Play him until he's dog tired. I'm going to say this, Skee. There still has to be some sense of fight in the Lakers. I will say if they go down 0-3, I could see them, that deflation, all the air comes out of the balloon, and that's the end of that. In game 4, I think Denver would probably roll in a sweep. But I think the Lakers, and the Anthony Davis quote was, it's kind of interesting, right? Anthony Davis, we've shown that we're more than capable, which is exactly what you said, which is exactly what some of the statistics prove. But then he goes on to say, we have stretches where we just don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor. And he's right. He's absolutely right.
Drives me crazy.
I mean, that's the frustrating part of it right now. The second half has been the problem. Minus 14 in the first game, minus 17 in the second game. That's why they're down 0-2. They have zero margin for error at this point in time. But somehow, some way, I mean, I'm just re-saying what you've already said. They have to find a way to repeat that first half scoring success. There's no way, Skee, you should go out there and score 59 or 58 and a half points a game in the first half and come out and score 41 and a half in the second half. It just minus 17. It makes zero sense. Whether it's the altitude, second half, whether it's defensive adjustments that Denver made, some of that pick and roll stuff, they chose to double Anthony Davis and let anybody else have it. Or whether or not it's what you said, LA just abandoning what they do well in the most critical times of the game. That's all got to go away here. The first half, let's just go through the first half and second half scoring and field goal percentage shooting splits. Lakers first half, 59 and a half points a game so far. First half shooting 50.5%. Beautiful. Second half scoring 41 and a half. That's down 18. Second half shooting 41%. That's down 10.5%. Glaring numbers, probably fixable if they do it right. They had a situation where I think I talked about it with you where they gave up 102 field goal attempts to the Nuggets in game 1 and they only got 79. That was minus 23. They kind of corrected that in game 2. Denver only had 8 or 9 more shot attempts than did the Lakers in that game. The scary part for me, Skee, is that Denver hasn't shot it well either. Honestly, offensively, they haven't played good. Denver in the series, 45.3 from the floor, 30.3 from three-point range. Jamal Murray was a hazard to his team for 3 quarters, came up large in the fourth quarter, the exact opposite of what the Lakers did. I think the venue switch has a lot of bearing on the outcome of this game. The last 4 times these two teams have played in Los Angeles, the Lakers did score 121, 126, 106, and 114. That's a 116.8 average at home. They don't seem to wilt away in the second half as much at home as they do on the road. But to me, you probably know where I'm going with all of this. Those games, the final score totals were 231, 234, 220, and 238. This adjustment by the odds makers from game 1 to game 2 to game 3, all the way to the point where we're down now to 217. I think they started maybe 227 and a half in game 1. You're all the way down to 217, 10.5 points difference. I think both offense. I think Denver's offense gets better here. I think LA plays a second half better offensively than they did in the first two games. And we're talking about 216 and a half, 217. I had to play it over. Couldn't ignore the number. Saw some overs last night, and I bet it. That's where I'm at. I bet it decently. LA and Denver. I got 216 and a half, but as I look now while I'm talking, there's a lot of 217s. So shop around.
I want to challenge you a little bit on that, and then I want to go. Damn, I have a lot I want to talk about now.
Okay.
the the first half. I mean, we talk about all the time. We've just talked about the Lakers playing organized offense for half of the game, pretty much, maybe three quarters of the game, before they stop. So, do you think it might make a little more sense to take the first half, or maybe add the first half rather than the full game, where they're slowing it down and playing ISO ball?
I think, the same theory that we talked about in the first two games, like you said, it applies in all three here, right? All three are down 0-2. All three are back home. All three have some thought in their head that they could have won a game already. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not ignoring first half whatsoever in this one, or I wouldn't talk you off of first half either way. The one thing you would say, Skee, I guess in my situation where I'm playing total, you would say maybe the home team is so desperate that they come out and play really good defense in the first half and the total doesn't get over. I'm only speaking from a total perspective here because the home team was desperate and played good defense. But I don't know. I offset that by saying that Denver just hasn't played up to potential offensively yet. And I think they're too good to not score points here against this defense, which – if Jared Vanderbilt were back and healthy, I might think differently, but they're not a really good defensive team. And AD does his work, and, the rest of the guys, mediocre at best in my estimation. So I can honestly see your point. I wouldn't talk you off, but for me, I think full game. I think both of these offenses are going to be here. I wouldn't be surprised to see LA go a little more transition either. It seems to me when they're running, they're a little bit better than when they're just stagnant. And as you mentioned, LeBron ball pounding. Real quick here, it crossed my mind the other night when I watched LeBron set up for that three. Nobody comes out to get him, stand there. It seemed to me like he was almost thinking about what he was going to say at the post-game conference after he made that shot, and then he missed that shot. So there's nothing to be said. But I think you'll get better performance second half offensively out of LA here.
All right, that's give me something to think about. I want to go back to some comments from a couple minutes ago, maybe 5 minutes ago even. But the Anthony Davis quote, can you read it one more time?
Yeah, it starts out like this. He says, "We've shown we're more than capable." That was his first sentence, which is true. We've already talked about that. But he goes on to say, "We have stretches where we just don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor." And that's true too. So, I mean, I don't know, Skee, who do you lay that on? Do you lay that on Darvin Ham? Do you lay that on LeBron? He's supposed to be as smart as the coach, the smartest mind in the game. Why is he going away from what works? Is it self-ego? Is it, I don't know what it is, but that's what Anthony Davis said. Stretches where we don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor.
Well, I've been saying this since last season. Darvin Ham is incompetent. He's just, he should have been gone already. And the comments, I want to go, we'll just look at all these comments in a row really quick here, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Ham is cooked. Casey says, Darvin Ham disagreed with that quote, by the way. PZ also says that Ham didn't agree with Anthony Davis' comments. And then Jal K says, Mike Malone said, Nuggets haven't even had to show their full adjustments because Lakers aren't making adjustments. Like, this is just ridiculous at this point. So,
real quick, what do we expect Darvin Ham to say? Do we expect him as the head coach to agree with Anthony Davis? Yeah, we don't know what the hell we're doing out there. I'm the head coach, so we don't know what we're doing.
And I've seen a lot of videos during the season where like Ham is trying to draw plays and nobody gives two shits. They're like, "Get the hell out of here, dude!" They're walking away, not even looking at that shit. Ham he's done, man. He should have been done. Travis says Ham has done a great job in the development of Rui, D'Angelo, and Reeves. Ham benched D'Lo. Ham benched D'Lo. He benched D'Lo last year. He benched D'Lo again this season. And then they were trying to trade D'Lo, and D'Lo started going off. Ham didn't develop shit about D'Lo. Uh, Travis, you need to watch more Lakers basketball. It's not Twitter. We don't need. I don't need to read nothing on Twitter. You need to watch the games. That's what I'll tell you. Please watch all the Laker games if you're gonna make comments like this. D'Lo, and look, D'Lo's a vet. He ain't no damn rookie. What are we talking about? Developing. Come on, man. Anything else you want to say here, Rob?
No, we're just going to keep. In another 10 minutes, you'll be so angry you'll be taking that jacket off and you'll be cooling off.
You know, I didn't even want to wear it today, honestly, but I said it might be the last time that I feel even close enough to thinking about wearing it for a good while. So I think it's time to be done. UCapper says Skee getting triggered.
Yeah, it's the truth, Ronald. It's the truth.
I can't take it anymore. Ronald asked me, he texted me. Let me read the text message. Let me pull it up. He texted me the other day. Maybe I don't know if it was yesterday or not. Yeah, it was yesterday. He says, Lakers versus Nuggets. Gun to your head. Who's winning? My response was, fuck my life. Just pull the trigger. So I told you where I'm at with these Lakers, man. I'm not putting a cent on it. It is what it is. Let's move it on over to best bet segment, Mr. Veno.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I'll ask you if there's anything you would like to promote. And then we've talked about, I feel like there's something you like a little bit more than the rest for the best bet segment today.
Yeah, let's start with the promotional stuff here, Skee, real quick, because Johnny Detroit would be proud of us to mention that over at Wagertalk today, it's Customer Appreciation Day. Everybody, I believe, has a $5 play up band available. Once again, just a thank you to all the folks that either watch Wagertalk TV or have purchased from us before. You can get on board with a handicapper of your choice, myself and Skee included, for a $5 play today. If you just like info and you want to find out what, how guys analyze the NHL playoffs that are going on, MLB card each and every day, you can get free video content, free written content from Wagertalk each and every day just by dropping your email address. Go to the website, put your email address in there, automatically tune into all the shows, to all the write-ups of the free plays that we offer over at wagertalk.com. For best bet, Skee, I'm a little bit torn, but I'll go to what we talked about last, which was Denver and the Lakers. I bet it early. I like it still, even at 216 and a half, 217. Again, do your best shopping. But I just think this is going to get high scoring. The money came in pretty strong on over in game one and then again early in game two. And the odds makers, when they start taking these totals down by this much, 227 game one down to 216 and a half now, you have to readjust a little bit. I know that the games didn't go over 224 and 227, but it's a change of venue. It's a 10-point lower number. I like it quite a bit here because I think Denver starts to get rolling offensively, and I think the Lakers' second half will be more point productive. I don't see any, reason to think the Lakers won't score in the first half either. So I'm going to use that as best bet for the show. I'm on it. Lakers, Denver over 216 and a half or 217.
And I can endorse that pick. I think we see more offense from both of these teams. Like you said, Denver has to play better. And we'll see some desperation offense from these Lakers. So I'm in agreement. I might even add the first half. My best bet for the show is Skee over 7.5 tequilas tonight during the Lakers and Denver's game. I have not made a pick yet. I'm going to do another show at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Wham, Dutch, and Babano. And I'll see if I can get to the window with something by then. But as you guys heard, I'm looking towards a few first quarters. I will not bet them all. If I'm betting, I will be picking one. And I'm very likely to get there with either the over in this game or the first half over for the Lakers and the Nuggets. So, Rob, I appreciate you taking the time to come cap the games and share this information with us. Chat, We appreciate everything you guys bring to the table every day. And until next time, best of luck if you tell. Good luck on all of your action. Catch you guys then. Peace.